Hi, thanks for checking out our channel here. This is going to be a how-to repair video and how to test video on this particular unit. This is a Gallagher M800 old style unit. This particular unit was built in 2003 based on the serial number here. But if you got one of these, you'd like to send to us for repair, we'd be happy to take a look at it for you. Gallagher doesn't really fix these units anymore because they don't stock a lot of parts for them anymore. But these are really good old school units. Put a little time and effort and money into it, man. These things run for years. It's 2003, so it's got a little age on it. But put a little money into it, probably run another 20 years. Alright, so let's plug it in, see what it does. It's a 110, 120 volt unit, plug into power strip, from power strip on. Alright, green light's coming on. Red light's barely flashing. Every once in a while it flashes, and the other times it won't. Now it takes about 3,000 volts to make that light flash. So it probably is just a tidbit right around 3,000, give or take. So it must be right on that threshold. So we're going to take this cover off. Alright, looks like to be a lot of original parts to it. Well, we'll move this board out of there because that is not our issue, because it is come on and clicking and flashing and snapping and stuff. Oops, let's test this capacitor. Now this is a 40 microfarad capacitor. There's no polarity. I'm going to go across it. It takes a second for this meter to do its thing. Give it a second. Maybe that tester's bad. Not a test, but the capacitor. Let's check it with this meter. This meter's a little bit more accurate and faster. And see, it's 27 out of 40. So I wonder why that meter wouldn't read it. I don't know. Alright, so we need to replace this capacitor. That's part of our problem. Now that won't keep it from putting out good voltage. That's high enough to where it should run just fine if everything else was working like normal, but we're going to trash this capacitor. Alright, got a new capacitor here. I'm going to set it right there. This capacitor is a little bit different shape, or a little bit bigger in shape. So the original strap's not going to hold it. It won't go around because it's too big. So let me go get another strap. Peel this double-sided foam off here. Put it flat right up against it. And then we'll put this zip tie over this to secure it. That tape there's just there to kind of help hold it there. The strap's what mostly is holding it in place. Alright, so let's do a an ohms check across the primary or secondary side of the transformer. Should be 11 ohms. Okay, my leads weren't pushed in all the way. That's why I couldn't get a reading off the capacitor earlier. See, it should be about 11, and we're reading about 9 ohms. That's on this particular transformer. Now, every transformer is different. Some read 5, some read 30. But transformers are issues. That's why we're not. That's why the voltage isn't jumping way up high. This board looks okay physically. All right, let's get these wires loose from the transformer primary side. Let's wiggle this wire off. Let's snap this transformer off. Alright, now Gallagher no longer makes the transformer for this model. That made it in probably 10 years. So we're going to take this transformer, which is a Gallagher transformer, just for a different model, and we're going to retrofit it into this unit. Now I got to get another battery for my drill. Alright, so now we need this drill bit, and we're going to move this out of the way first. A little clip there. We're going to drill, because this transformer will fit in there, but it hits the sides. You go a little back a little bit further, so we have to drill out these corners here and make it a little bit wider for these little things to fit in there. So we're just going to go straight down. Now we'll have to go back and trim up some of it, because it doesn't always get everything we need out of there, so we need to do the same thing down here at the lower side. Get this one over here as well. So this has a primary and a secondary side, just like the old transformer did. Now there's 4 tabs. 2 are for the primary, 2 are for secondary. But if you're always unsure which primary and secondary, there's big wires on this side. I guess if you had it flipped around, it could be the other side. But the big wires are your input, primary side, and the small wires right there are your secondary side. Because there's more amperage, less voltage on the primary input side, and more voltage, less amperage on the secondary side. Okay, so we got that in there. Now we're going to have to fasten that because it's, it's wobbles around, so we'll have to glue it in place or whatever. So let's, before we glue it and all that stuff, let's get the wires put on there. So we have to drill 2 holes in this black plastic divider piece right here. And it doesn't matter where we quite put them at, but we'll put one right there. Let's move over a little bit. Put one right there. Alright, so now we need some wire. These are just standard size spake connectors. And we're going to crimp on some wire, or crimp on some female spake connectors. These are the red ones. Now I'm using 14 gauge wire, which is probably overkill, but that's what I've got. Now it's going to go through the case, and we're going to go down right over there. So we're going to put this wire, we're going to make it go through and plug onto this one right here. Alright, so now we'll probably cut that to length, make it a little bit shorter. Wire, I don't need quite that long, but I want to make sure I got plenty to work with. So now we'll plug it on there. And this wire's going to go through this hole, and it's going to come around and go to this capacitor over here. So we'll cut it right there. It should be long enough. And it's like the right length. Alright, so now let's cut this wire a little bit shorter. That should be long enough. Back one went. We'll plug this right there, this right there, and this right there. This one go right there. All right, so now we're ready to. I've got to put some wire on the secondary side. And we need some thinner wire. I got 20 gauge wire here. And we've got to put it on secondary side, a small wire. So crimp on some female spake connectors for there. Now I'm just going to cut it off right here, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to put out exactly yet until I get that small board on there. Alright, we're just going to cut it right there. Alright, so these 2 wires need to go into these 2 middle sleeves, this one and this one. Now they're just female spake connector sleeve things, and we can either solder the wires to it, or we can get some male spake connectors and solder that on there, or crimp it on there. We'll see if I have any. I've got a couple of them, so let's do that. All right. So let's see where we want to do it. Let's snap this board in real quick to kind of see what we're working with here. I think I'm going to solder the wires there to it. I think that's going to be better. Add some extra bit of solder onto the tab there. I'm going to solder this wire here, and we're going to one. Got that wire on there. Alright. This unit will be a little bit quieter. The transformer's encased in an epoxy, which secures the windings, but also makes it kind of quiet, muffles the sound. Alright, so now what should happen, if you power it on, this light should go flashing every single time. Let's put our fence tester across there. .5 kV. So kind of spark it throws. Bend this. I like the way that looks a little bit better. Alright, well this one's done. We're going to move on to another one and go from there. So if you got an old Gallagher M800 like this to take a look at for you, be happy to take a peek at it. Any old Gallagher's really good to for us to take a look at, because the older they are, the easier they are to retrofit and rebuild. Old M1500s, old M400s, B160s, anything like that. MPE through MPE2s, BEV3s, BEV2s. So next time, see you later on.